In the last section, we finished up our single container deployment over to Amazon Elastic Beanstalk. Before we move on, quick reminder, please do not forget to terminate the application that we just put together. I put directions for terminating the app in the last section, kind of a quick text section that shows you very quickly how to terminate the application. You need to terminate that thing so that you do not get billed money. If you're okay with paying a couple bucks, then you can certainly leave the application running. But if you don't want to be billed any money, then please make sure that you terminate the application. All right, so we finished up the application or the entire deployment successfully, but there was a couple of big ticket items in there that I think were kind of big issues, things that we did not quite do as well as we could have. So here are some of the issues that I think we ran into with that single container deployment process. First off, the entire application was very simple. It was a single React application backed up by an Nginx server. Not a lot of complexity there. We weren't relying upon any outside services or databases or anything like that. And so I think that if we are going to really get mastery of containers and deployment and all that kind of stuff, we might need to work on an application that is a little bit more complex and maybe has kind of an intermix of a couple of different services. The other thing that I want to point out is that we were building our image multiple times. We built out our image over on Travis CI when we ran our tests, and we also built the image a second time after we pushed all of our code through Travis over to Amazon Elastic Beanstalk. And I'm going to suggest that maybe that wasn't the best approach, because we were essentially taking our web server or the web application and we were using it to build our image. Chances are we really want our web server to be just concerned with running our web server. And we probably don't want to have to do this extra process of building out our image. So I think that maybe that was kind of a bad approach to allow our Docker image to be built multiple times, and most especially allow it to be built on our active running web server. The third item, and this is very closely related to the first one we just spoke about, we had a very simple, very straightforward application. It did not make use of any outside services. So there was no database that we made use of, no API, no Redis server for caching or anything like that. So I think that if we really want to get some mastery of Docker and really understand how this stuff works, we probably need to work on a little bit more complicated application. And that's exactly what we're going to start doing in this section. We're going to figure out how to build a multi-container application that makes use of multiple different databases or sources of information, tie it all together with Docker and Docker Compose, and then eventually deploy it off to Amazon Beanstalk as a multi-container application. So let's take a quick pause right here. We're going to continue in the next section, and we're going to talk about the specifics of the application that we're going to put together. So I'll see you in just a minute.